Hello there. We have to do some Brexit updates in between, and the UK's exit from the EU has far-reaching consequences for Britons and EUs as travellers. Continental Europeans can generally still travel to the UK without a visa, but it's required to have a passport since 2021. Entry into Great Britain is with this still visa-free for most German nationals like me. They can still enter the UK without a visa for short stays of up to 180 days. Holidays, business trips, and other trips lasting no longer than 6 months are therefore still possible without having to apply for a visa or any other travel authorization. Since 2021, you do need a valid passport to travel to the UK, though. Until then, German nationals like me were also allowed to enter the country with our identity card, because most don't even have a passport because they don't need it. There are some exceptions to this rule. EU citizens who have previously acquired what is known as pre-settled or settled status, a temporary or permanent UK residency permit, can still enter with an ID card and proof of residency status. Their passport just needs to be valid throughout their stay in the UK, or the ID card. So for most European citizens, traveling to the UK hasn't gotten much more complicated. The only thing to consider is applying for a passport for those who only have an ID card like the majority. In addition, waiting times at the border may be longer than before Brexit, and certain rules for importing goods have been tightened in that direction as well. While EU citizens can still easily travel to the UK with their passports, it has become more difficult for Brits to travel outside of the UK. At the end of 2022, the EU will introduce a new travel authorization system called ETIAS. Travelers from countries outside the EU who currently do not require a visa will soon need to apply for this travel authorization to travel to the EU. The ETIAS will be available to travelers from 58 countries, including the UK. This means that Britons who can currently travel to the EU without a visa for stays of up to 90 days will have to apply for this ETIAS travel authorization from 2023. The ETIAS system is comparable to the travel authorization systems in non-European countries such as the US ESTA and the Canadian ETA. Some contact details, information about the employer or educational institution, and information about any criminal record must be provided on the application form. Applying for travel authorization costs €7 for adults. Minors can apply for their ETIAS free of charge. Like the ESTA USA and the ETA Canada, the ETIAS can also be applied for completely online. And not only do Britons face obstacles when traveling to the European Union, visa regulations for travelers from Great Britain have also been tightened outside of Europe. For example, since Brexit, Britons are no longer eligible to apply for an electronic visa to India. While most nationals worldwide can apply for an Indian e-visa, the India e-visa for travelers from the UK has been temporarily suspended. It's not clear whether this is a direct consequence of Brexit or due to the strict entry requirements for Indians who were denied entry to Great Britain during the corona pandemic. At the very least, UK travellers are currently required to apply for a physical paper visa to travel to India. And so I talked about visas long ago already on this channel, but I have to remind people of what we are dealing with now, and there are still changes coming. Brexit is not done, as many claim. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.